alternative style home, whether you're going a very alternative route or kind of a more standard route, that like what we're going with ICF, it might be very important to you because so in our county, Cochise County, there is what is called an owner builder opt-out. So if you buy a parcel of land that is zoned RU4, basically you have the ability to opt out of all building inspections. So the only thing that they do inspect is that they inspect any setback distances to any washes or any lot lines. But other than that, they don't inspect the plumbing, mechanical, structure, electrical, anything like that. And this rule is the only reason why we moved to this county.
What's that background noise?
What is that background noise?
That's our cat. He like goes like this on the...
He really wants to come out and join us. Now I've done an entire video talking about the opt-out and some of the kind of more finer details of it, and I'll leave a link to it in the description box and the comment section below if you want to check that out. But the reason why we're making this video is that there are talks with the county of actually removing the opt-out. Now I talked to one of the planning and zoning guys, his name's Paul, and he works for Cochise County. And since he's been in office, he says that this discussion about removing the opt-out typically comes out every kind of like election cycle, every 2 years or so. And so what they do is they just kind of review a lot of the, the policies that they have. And the owner builder opt-out, especially if you believe in freedom and being able to do things yourself, which I believe is, a very American value, right? It's incredible because there's not a lot of places in the United States and probably in Canada and North America in general where you can actually do that. So there's lots of people that live in straw bale homes, rammed earth homes, earth bag homes, pretty well any kind of style of home that you're really interested in. Say you wanted to build an earthship. There's pocket of freedoms in different places around the country, but specifically here in Arizona, in Cochise County, you can basically build whatever you want. Now, one of the great benefits of the opt-out is that you can build your own home, and the cost of it can be significantly less than if you had to hire contractors and go through the permit process. So for example, the permit cost for the opt-out here in Cochise County is $158. So a typical standard family residence permit that you'd pull is going to range anywhere between $2,500 to $5,000 in our county. And that's just based on the actual house size. But just that initial cost of getting the permit for your house is significantly less. And since we have this opt-out and there are no inspections, that means you can easily do solar without having any inspections on it. Obviously you want to do things the correct way. You can do rainwater harvesting with no inspections. You can just do whatever you want. And even in our area, it's even encouraged to do gray water harvesting, but it's also legal to do it down here as well. So isn't that kind of like one of the things that you love about this area is like we can just do whatever we want?
Yeah. I'm just in the video.
She's in the video
because I was in the thumbnail. Yeah, no, that's why we moved out here, was basically because we built this tiny house. The county actually said we could permanently live in it if we took the wheels off and put it on cinder blocks, but I mean, we wanted to build a bigger house, but they're just so lenient out here, and a lot of the lots around here, like, nobody's around you. We have friends, the Green Dream Project down a little bit further away, and like there's no one around them. Like there's no one coming out to their property checking on what they're doing. But where we are, I think like a few weeks into us living out here, a county guy came out. Yeah, and so yeah, when we originally pulled our first permit, the county guy, he was just an assessor, so he was just kind of like assessing things, I guess. I don't know exactly what he was looking at, but he was just making sure that, you know, we're kind of following the correct process for the permit. Now, what this owner-builder opt-out also allows you to do is that you can park an RV or a tiny house or a bus conversion or whatever you want on your property legally. So you can legally do it
The extra addition for the RV permit is like $24. So it's not really, a very expensive process. So what that means is that while you plan on building your normal size home, whether it's 600 square feet, 1,500 square feet, whatever size that you choose, is that you can live on your property while also building your house. So it can save you a tremendous amount of time and effort and money, because you don't have to maybe rent a house nearby, or have to travel, say, from like Tucson out to your job site every single day. You can actually live right on your property while you build your house, and that's one of the main benefits. Now, if you are interested in living in this area at some point, I highly recommend that you join a Facebook group that we started, that is all the people that are in support of the opt-out, because there are going to be public meetings coming up very soon, where they're going to be discussing and reviewing the opt-out, because unfortunately a lot of people take advantage of the opt-out in ways that they really shouldn't be. So they'll just pull an opt-out permit just so that they can live in their RV, and not really have any plan of actually building a home. Another thing that people do, and this is why the county is a little bit, why they want to discuss this, is because they've gone out and visited certain owner-builder opt-out sites, and the homes were built, not very well at all. And I think that's more of an exception to the rule, where, if somebody's wanting to build a home that they're going to be living in pretty well for the majority of their lives, if not, it's going to be their forever home, is that you're going to be putting in the time and effort to build a home that is going to be safe. So the reason why they like to review these policies is more of like a safety issue, because if people are allowed to basically do whatever they want, that also means that maybe their electrical system or maybe their plumbing is not going to be done correctly, and in turn it can create an unsafe living environment for the people inside of it. Now, one of the things that you really have to consider with the owner-builder opt-out is that the county does not give you a certificate of occupancy. So what that means is that you cannot submit your plans to a bank, for example, and get a loan or a mortgage on it. That means that you're kind of more forced to have to pay cash for your house, which I think is a great thing if they're actually forcing you to do that, and it's going to make sure that you're going to be spending your money wisely, and you're going to be building within your means and not going into debt over it.
Well, the other thing is, it's hard to sell your house because you don't have a certificate of occupancy, but you can, what a lot of people do out here is just a carryback loan. So when we bought this property, we didn't have 75 grand to just drop on it. So the seller just carried the loan for us, which is kind of nice if you're a seller, because if, say, somebody pays that house for 6 years and then they miss 3-6 months of payments, you get all the money that they paid you, plus you still own the house. Mm-hmm. So in essence, you become the bank. You are the bank. You are the bank. So you can charge interest on it. You can do whatever you want. You can, we had 3% interest, and we specified that. So we could specify what interest rate we wanted to pay as a buyer, and we paid it off in 2 or 3 months. But yeah, it's really cool. So if we ever wanted to sell our property, nobody's probably ever going to be able to pay cash for it, but we would be making money off of it just carrying the loan for somebody. And since we don't have any debt on it, it's a win-win for us. Being completely honest with you guys, this area is beautiful and we love it, right? We really love the desert climate, but if this owner-builder opt-out was not in place, we would not be living in here. So it is the main motivating factor for us to live in Cochise County. So if you want to see the boundaries of our county, just type Cochise County into Google Maps, and it'll show you basically, kind of the borderlines of it. One other thing to mention is that you can't opt out on a septic. So you have to get your septic permitted through the county and have somebody, do the install for you. I don't know if you can do that install yourself, but it has to be permitted and inspected. There is an option of doing a composting toilet, and from your kitchen sink you would need a grease trap. So Jim and Jessica from Green Dream Project have gone through that process. But other than that, you can basically do whatever you want. But the understanding is, even with the county, is that you're still building to building codes. It's just that they're not being inspected. So they want you to build a nice, safe home, so you do want to try to do your best
and build according to, you know, the proper ways of doing things. But it does afford you the ability to do whatever you want. And that's one reason why we love this area so much.
The other thing is that most counties, the minimum square footage for a house is like 1,200. Most counties are actually like 1,800 or 1,600 because they keep upping the minimum square footage. So you have, like, you're forced to build a big house. And when you build a big house, you know, you have to pay more taxes, your mortgage is bigger, like it kind of benefits the whole economy. It doesn't really benefit you. So if you want to build a smaller home legally, like, this is one county that you could do that in, because the minimum square footage for 2 people is 400 square feet. So in Pima County, I think it's, you know, like 1,200, 1,500, something like that, maybe even more. But back in the day, it was a lot smaller, and they just keep making it bigger and bigger because they can, you know, collect more taxes.
Yeah, they can charge more taxes. Your insurance rates will be higher as well because they're insuring more square footage. And Cochise County is like such a lenient county, and they are willing to work with people. You know, not that they're going to bend over backwards for you, but they're very lenient and they like to work with people.
Yeah.
Just from like talking with Paul on the phone, I talked with him for about 30 minutes or so, and he was just kind of explaining obviously the concerns with the opt-out, and I definitely kind of understand their point of view, but they're really nice, and like they want to help you, you know, build an alternative style home, go through the permit process properly, but also you have to come to this understanding that you're not going to get a certificate of occupancy. And that's one of the main important things, because somebody who built a home with the owner builder opt-out wanted to refinance their home. And so the bank was requesting that they supply a certificate of occupancy. And so he called the county asking, this gentleman that used the opt-out, he called the county asking for a certificate of occupancy. And the county's like, sorry, we can't do that. You did the opt-out, and you basically knew, it basically outlines all that information within the permit, is that you're not going to get that certificate of occupancy. So that's just something to keep in mind. And for us, we don't plan on moving. We don't plan on going anywhere. So this is our forever place. So we don't plan on selling. And that's one of the main reasons with the opt-out. It's like, you just can't build something without permits or without inspections and then just expect just to turn around and sell it. You could try it with the opt-out, but there's even rules within the permit that you can't sell for a certain period of time. So if you're interested in supporting the cause, there's even a petition going on. I'll leave a link to that down below, so everybody can sign the petition. But if you're kind of more interested in moving to this area and you want to kind of stay in the loop, then definitely check out the Facebook group below and join up to that, because it'll have all the information about when the meetings are coming up and all that kind of jazz. And if these rules were to potentially be changed, it doesn't change our situation with our permit. We're grandfathered in. So anyone that's already pulled their opt-out permit, you're totally fine. They can't kind of go back and, you know, make you do the inspection process or anything like that. Awesome, guys. Thanks so much for watching. We'll catch you on the next video. We're going to start laying